Hey, it's your boy Trav. This drop's gonna be heavy, but I think it's very necessary. Shout out to Afi King. He helped give me the inspiration for this, so shout out to you, big bro. This drop is be a fish out of water, embrace different situations. Now, what does that mean? Myself, I haven't had a typical black upbringing, and that's what makes me stronger. Now, let me start from the top. So, growing up, I had a father who worked in tech, and we lived in a white neighborhood, and we lived in San Jose, which is not very black. Yet, we were doing better than a lot of white folk. Now, my mom's Armenian, but daddy ran that show. We had a black house. So, we grew up with Afrocentric thought, but I went to white schools as a kid. Even in the second elementary school I went to, Silver Oak Elementary, it was by Silver Creek Country Club. So I'm going to school with some of the 49ers kids and some of the Sharks players' kids. And we get the best education, the most resources, and all that. So what was the advantage of that for me? I was around a lot of top tier education that a lot of other black people aren't. I've learned how to code switch and assimilate in Eurocentric society because that's what dominates the world primarily and runs the business world. Knowing how to network, how to present myself, and to be real, how to adapt your blackness. We got to do that. It's better now. It's a little better now, but especially growing up, we had to adapt all the time to white folk. White folk don't have to adapt to nobody. Everybody got to adapt to them. Hey, they conquered most of the world, so hey, to the victor get the spoils. Going to those white schools, it's, push more to succeed in the education route. There's more pipelines to go to different things. And even the bad kids, they're not really that bad. It's like they're bad is like they don't get grades or maybe some drugs here and there, or they're gothic or something like that, but nothing like how bad, blacks can be, or maybe, certain Latinos and stuff. Hell nah. So you came from more of a structure going to these white schools. Now, even though my house was Afrocentric, in the Bay, a lot of blacks are just in hoods, and I was always kept away from that. But I was kept too far away from that because I thought more like a white kid. So I realized around high school, right before high school, I talked to my mom. I was like, I need to go to Oak Grove High in San Jose. That's where my sister went. I was like, I need to be around black kids. So, and I didn't have that sauce and that drip. You know what I mean? Because I'm always a fish out of water. So then I knew for me how to be a fish out of my own water and go to the black schools and get what I was missing. So in high school on, I went to black schools. Now, what's the advantage of going to the black schools? That's where I developed my street smarts and my common sense. We grew up like privileged white children. So, we had a 2-parent household, money for college, we can go on trips, and all the other kids were around or going on trips, or all the other minorities that are living in the white areas like us are living like that. Now you go to Oak Grove High, and it wasn't the most hood school, but there's more kids that come from broken homes or less money. Their families have more of the traditional mindsets from dealing with the traumas that came from slavery and Jim Crow. So, mostly good kids, but you had some kids, that were on some street stuff. More athletes and all that. So I saw that side. That's where I developed my swag. That's where I developed my style. And honestly, I had to develop some of my blackness. It's a shame because I know, different people that, were raised too much outside, that are black, that are raised too much outside the black community. And they're like black people who are really like white people trying to be black because they don't have that soul. That's what's missing with a lot of the Eurocentric thought processes. It's very technical, but no soul, no connection to that pineal gland. And it's a cheat code being black, bro. We're the coolest people on the planet. There's no doubt about that. Why? Two things. Hip hop has taken out different genres and people have come into our world. Rock is now a section of hip hop. So before you had 311 or Bush or Blink 182 and all that. Now the rock of today is Travis Scott, Juice WRLD, Excess Testacion, Ski Master Slump God. We took over. And what else? All these races want to be ratchet and say nigga. We ain't doing that, trying to say other slurs. So there you go. And then I developed my confidence more going to the black schools and my masculinity because, again, you're around kids that if they're bad kids, blacks and Mexicans, because there's Mexicans at their schools too, the black schools I went to. These are bad kids. It's not some punk stuff. It's you might lose your life fucking around with the wrong one of these kids. So, with that, or get beat up real bad. So that's where it's like, okay, you got to learn that side of the game too. So now being in two different uncomfortable environments, the fish out of water and adapting to uncomfortable situations, now I'm comfortable in both situations now. Now I can code switch. Now I can be around the streets and know how to navigate. Now I can be in corporate and know how to navigate. See, a lot of people won't do that. And that's what you need. You need to be a complete person. That's why traveling is so important, because you do that as well. You're a fish out of water when you travel certain places because the culture is different. So you see, oh, I like how they live better in this way or that way. And you can take all the pros and get rid of the cons. When, I went to certain colleges, like I remember being a fish out of water, going to parties at UCLA because I hadn't been around white schools in a long time. That's when I realized, damn, white people and all these other races are ratchet like black folk, but they hide it better. They be on that white ratchet, that watchet. Some of those parties, you would see the cocaine out, kids doing just sex acts in the bathroom, partying to the edge of death, but they'll still hide that side and then still get grades and graduate from college and go to these corporate pipelines. They just know how to hide it better. I was like, damn. See, black folk, we like to be having our stuff all the way out and get attention because we have so much trauma again from slavery and Jim Crow, and we want to be recognized because we've been shitted on for so long. That's why we be doing the bling bling and all that. Overcompensation. And then I've also been, like I said, I mentioned too, but I've been the only black around Asians, the only black around Indians, Mexicans, and Latinos, whatever, going around Brazilians, whatever. So you see different cultures. See, what did Bruce Lee said? He said, be like water, be formless. Well, you be water by being a fish out of water, being uncomfortable for a little bit and then getting comfortable. That's what makes you stronger. See, a lot of people, they stay in a one track and they're just comfortable in one setting. But how are you going to be dynamic? You don't stand out by doing what everybody else does. You stand out by doing what everybody else doesn't do. See, now with all these different experiences I have, it's like I'm an X-Men. That's what makes me a Renaissance man, being able to do and adapt to all these things and situations. So push yourself. Do things you normally wouldn't do. Don't limit yourself because you come from a certain nationality, ethnicity, creed. Oh, we don't bungee jump or we don't skydive. Whether just try it out. Oh, we don't do this activity or that activity. That's for them. Nah, try it out. Have that traditional base to adapt and know your own culture, your native culture, but then also step outside of that and do things different too. And that is how you become an elite person, my friends.